Hello. Hi. So Queendom round 2 has happened. And it was it was something. Lots to talk about, lots to discuss. Let's just get straight into the content here. So for round 2 of Queendom, we did covers. Vivi's and WJSN covering each other, Luna and Hyorin, and then Brave Girls and Kepler. Some interesting matchups, but some surprises, I would say. So just like last time, I am going to start with my least favorite performance, and we are going to count up to my favorite performance. So let's just go ahead, get started with number 6, my least favorite performance of this round and possibly the whole show. I really did not like this performance. WJSN. Oh. If you aren't aware, WJSN is my favorite of the groups on this show. So me placing them 6 is showing you how not biased I am in these rankings. I'm so disappointed. The last video I left off saying how excited I was for this because I thought they had the best song with the most potential. And what did they do with that potential? They just threw it in the garbage disposal. I'm being so harsh. I'm sorry. So WJSN covered Navillera. They had the creative decision of, instead of embracing the concept of Navillera, you know, the part that kind of helped made it so famous, and also a concept that they're very strong at. They decided to just throw that concept out and try to be like edgy. For what? Why? It's like, I to this day cannot understand why they did what they did. It's fine if they wanted to do this concept. Why this song? The whole concept of their stage, they're like, there's like dark magic, they're like witches or something. You know, GFriend had a song with this concept. Why didn't they just do Apple if they really wanted to kind of go for this style? I can't understand what happened here. So what I didn't like about this performance, I thought the intro of it was very jarring. Like, I didn't care about, the whole beginning part. They're like mixing, like, ooh. But when the song begins, I don't know, it just catches me off guard. And I don't know if it's because of Luda's voice as well, because Luda is so cute. Well, we went from this like really dark, mystical thing, and then all of a sudden it's just like Luda. I don't know, that to me felt kind of weird. The drop, the drop. What is this drop? It was just so unnecessary. And then followed by Exy's rap. I love Exy. I think this is her worst rap I've ever heard. The rap is just so off. It doesn't feel quite necessary. Obviously, we're going to get an Exy rap in every performance, and I get that. I'm fine with that. And GFriend doesn't rap. So they're going to have to shoehorn a rap in somewhere, no matter what song they pick. I just could not get with this one. It was a big miss. But pros, though, let's talk about the stuff that I did like. Their vocalist killed it. Yoram, my baby, my bias, my star, and the star of this stage. Oh my gosh, I was so happy with how much screen time she got this episode. I think she did great. And I think it's not that the girls did a bad job. Let's just say that, actually. I don't think they really did a bad job. The just concept and the drop, the rearrangement, it's a no. It wouldn't be this angry about it if it wasn't such maybe like an iconic song as Navillera. I don't know. They just took out everything that made the song so iconic and just like added, it's not even they added their own flair to it. They just added something to make it, I'm sorry, I've talked about this long enough. I didn't like it. Number 5, Vivi's. Another performance I just really don't like. At first, when I heard the spoilers of what songs were getting performed, I was very bummed that they decided to do Unnatural, because Unnatural Not my favorite WJSN title. Like, if I had to rank their titles, it's probably at the bottom for me, which I guess is a controversial opinion, because, like, all my friends love that song. I don't get it. Like, it's a fine song, but it's not, like, a WJSN, like, bop to me. I don't know. It's just not my favorite. But the more I thought about it, it made perfect sense for Vivi's, because it matches the sound they kind of went with bop bop. So I'm thinking, oh, actually, this could really work for them. It kind of suits them. And then they did Latin. Why? Stop just doing these concepts that make no sense. I don't get it. I don't get it. This performance in general was just kind of all over the place to me. I felt very overwhelmed. It's like we're doing stuff here, then we're over here, we're on the side of the stage, and ba da ba da ba da ba. I felt like the mixing or something was off. Their vocals sounded very soft. That might have been fixed for like the Mnet upload of the stage, but watching the show, I could not hear them, and that just added to my confusion. Watching the episode, they focus a lot on Nha, her singing and her doing this lift. And unfortunately, I do feel like both of those really missed the mark in the performance. The singing was not that great, and that was a concern I had going to the stage, because if we're comparing them to WJSN, WJSN's going to win in vocals. And they showed it, how hard they were kind of struggling with singing the chorus and Unnatural, because it's a hard chorus. It's high. They're really, really, really unnatural. It's not natural to say. It is really, really unnatural. You almost sound a little bit drunk kind of saying it. Like, they're really, really unnatural. And then when it came to the lift, they spent so much time on the episode talking about this lift. Oh, she didn't get it. It was just so unfortunate. And then to see her cry about it afterwards, I felt so bad. And the thing is, you would not have really even noticed it being that bad, but Mnet editing was like, look at this lift, look how much she's struggling to get this lift. Oh my god, is she gonna get this lift? That was, I felt bad after that. And I know I talked about how I was kind of bummed how they were doing Unnatural, but after kind of this performance and this Latin concept, I started to think, maybe I'm not as disappointed that they picked this song, because I would have been so much angrier if they did something like this to one of my favorite WJSN songs. That's probably why they're not last place here. It's just overall so disappointed in those two groups this round, and I hope they do better in the next round. But let's move on to number 4. Number 4, Kep1er. I wanted to like these performances. Once again, I just don't like this. First off, I love Kep1er. I love the energy they bring to the stage. I don't like this arrangement. Really, it's because of the Roland part. It's so jarring. I mean, I liked Bahi's moment of just like, let me play Roland right now. Like, that part was cute. But then just like the Roland, like, there's something about that. You can explain it in musical theory, like why that sounded so not very good. I just know it did not sound good. I didn't quite understand the Alice in Wonderland thing that they did at the beginning. That didn't really come back. It was just Alice in Wonderland, and then there's Bubbles. But even with just kind of this arrangement in general, there's something about it that felt very empty that made it kind of underwhelming at the same time. And I know I've listened to Pool Party, and it's one of the Brave Girl songs that I actually kind of like. I felt like I didn't recognize the song at all until the chorus. That's probably just a me thing, though. I think Kep1er themselves, I think they're just great on stage. I think they just look like they're having fun. There's some really cute moments. I loved the bubble thing that they did with Eugen, even though I immediately knew what was going to happen because of that. And sure enough, she's slipping. But that's not even the worst thing that happened on the stage. Diane just fell. Girl literally fell off. And not only did she fall off the stage, she almost made things so much worse in her effort to get back on stage for her ending pose. Like, I was so sure we were going to have a domino of Kep1er members at the end. But thankfully that didn't happen. Oh my god, what a terrifying thing. Overall, I didn't think this was necessarily bad. It wasn't very good. It's just kind of mid to me, but kind of like the lower end of mid. Again, I'm just so disappointed. Ugh, Kepler. Why are all my faves not... Those are the bottom three. Maybe it's going to look up as we move up to the top three. Speaking of the top three, let's do number three. Number three! Brave Girls. Yes, all of my rankings are next to each other with the group that they covered. Coincidentally, which also happened on the show in the final rankings. But yes, Brave Girls did Mask. And it is just another pretty underwhelming performance for me. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't very good. I don't like their decision of slowing it down as much as they did. I think it's a bit too slow. The concept that they went with this was fine because it did not alter the song in a way that would make it worse. So that's a bonus. But the concept of like, was it Now You See Me? Whatever that movie is, where they're like magicians, but they're thieves. It was okay. There's some moments that were like kind of cool, but camera work kind of messed it up. Like at one point, they were doing a thing where like she would like disappear behind a backup dancers, but the camera, like, you totally see her, loses the effect a bit. But I liked what they were going for with it. The actual props part of it, it was kind of lame. However, they've done the best use of a prop yet on the show. And that was when they made it rain money. What a great idea. Granted, I know it's fake money, but it was a fun way to end the performance, and it was just really funny for the show. So I loved that. Also, I gotta give them big props for the live vocals when they were recovering from COVID. They were not sounding great, but they did great on the stage. I think they sounded a lot better here than they did in the first round, funny enough. They ended up getting last place this round, which, like, I'm not surprised by it, but oh my god, they do not deserve last place for this round. Especially seeing some of the stages that we got this round. It's just... and that sucks. And once again, they should be kissing Luna's feet for getting COVID, because they would have been eliminated if Luna was not disqualified from the first round. But I'm glad they're not getting eliminated, because that would just be very heartbreaking. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to see a group get cut here. So please, Brave Girls, pair up with people that are going to get a lot of votes for the next round. Anyway, to the top two. Number 2, Hyorin. So I saw this stage a while ago when it originally leaked. And I remember seeing that and hating strong. I didn't like it. Mostly because So What is not my favorite Luna song. There's Paint the Town as my least favorite, and right above it is So What. I just was kind of bummed that this was the song choice. And I just remember seeing the performance. I was like, yeah, this isn't really that great. But after seeing everyone else's performances, I think she did a good job. She's really killing it on this show. I think the hoop from the ceiling was a bit unnecessary, and she didn't really do that much except just drop down. But, I'm fine with it. Whatever. She's ultimately just really good on putting on a show. And funny enough, with season 1, Park Bom being the solo artist was such a huge disadvantage for her. While here, Hyorin being a solo artist is a huge advantage for her. So it's just very kind of funny how, I don't know about other people, I know I kind of looked like, I don't want to say I looked down on the solo artist, but I didn't like the idea of a solo artist because I felt like it just wasn't fair for them. But now with Hyorin, I'm like, she has such an advantage over everyone. And I think part of that huge advantage is she can just kind of do what she wants. Like, when she's doing a performance, she can just put on a show. She's not set to do choreography with the other members. Like, yes, she has her backup dancers, but they can just do their own thing while she's like hyping up the crowd, just singing her notes. She also has a huge amount of say in what the performance is going to be, whereas with the group, there's a lot more collaboration. I think a lot of the groups also are not necessarily coming up with the performances on their own, and their companies are going to be more in charge of that. Whereas I get the impression with her, she can put a lot more of her voice into what to do on the stages. She can just do what she knows is best for her. And I think she's doing a great job at that. Her vocals this round, oh my god, so good. Like, to be honest, what she kind of did as performance-wise wasn't that great, but you almost don't even care about it because she just sounded so good. So you're just thinking, oh my god, that was amazing, because she sounded amazing. But like, when I think about it, I'm like, it's not like she was doing a lot. Her dancers were doing a lot, and she was working the crowd. And hey, that's a performance. She's putting on concert-like performances, which are just very fun to watch. They're not like these countdown stages that a lot of the other groups are kind of putting on. She ended up placing first this round, once again, with a perfect score all across the board. It's insane. Now, I don't think she's going to end up winning the show. And, we can clip this when I'm wrong. But I don't think she's going to win. And the reason why I think this is the final round is worth a lot of points. And it's all about charting. And I don't think she's going to chart very well. So don't give up hope. We really don't know. I also still kind of fully believe a lot of her votes are coming from her being people's second choice. This is kind of the Girls Planet 999 situation. Hyolyn might be the Shen Xiaoting of the show, when there is already a Shen Xiaoting in the show. But what I kind of mean by that is, if you didn't watch Girls Planet 999, is Shen Xiaoting was first place pretty much like the whole show. And then when it got down to you can only vote for one girl, she dropped because she wasn't everyone's first place. She was like a second pick, or their first Chinese girl pick, when you had to pick one of each, the Korean, Japanese, and Chinese. And then when it came to you pick your favorite, she dropped because she wasn't necessarily the favorite. She was a favorite, but not necessarily the favorite, if you get what I mean. And I think that's kind of the situation with Hyolyn right now. I think she deserves doing well, because she is doing very well. And it's nice to see her being so successful in the show, especially after seeing kind of how Park Bom did. What is she going to do for the next round? Because next round is like the vocal dancing round. And she has both. What's she going to pick? Sorry, we can talk about that at the end of this. The final, number one. Let's talk about the number one, the best performance of possibly the whole show so far. I don't need to do drum roll. It's Luna. Luna, like, it's not even a competition. They were easily the best performance this round. I am a huge musical theater fan. I wasn't a drama kid. Let's not get that mistake. I did not do drama. But I love the theater. I love Broadway. And when I saw they were doing one of my favorite K-pop songs in Broadway, I was hype. And oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so fun. Because yes, they changed the song, but it doesn't feel different. It still captures the same energy and same vibe as the original Shake It. And that is something that the other kind of changes didn't really accomplish, right? They went to try to make the song something it wasn't. And that is where I think they really fall flat. Yeah. Because even when I think of the Oh My Girl Destiny performance, they did change the song a lot, but it still captures the same energy as the original. And I think that's what makes these changes good, is if you can change it a bit where you still keep what made the song good in the first place, but you add like a fun twist to it. And I think this Broadway Shake It does that, because it's really not that different, but it feels different, but it feels the same. And it's just a fun performance. It's captivating. This is the best performance so far at telling a story, because I could follow it. Everyone else who does a story, it's all like metaphorical. I don't care about that. Sorry. This was just so fun and so cute. This is just like last week. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. This was a great performance. It was just so engaging. And then at the end, they bring it all together. You have that concert moment of they're getting the crowd to join in. It's just so much fun. And my girl Go-On has a special little moment. Oh, when I saw the rip away skirts, oh, I was excited. I'm happy they got to do this, especially after kind of how disappointed I was last round. So, good work, Luna. And that is my rankings of round 2 of Queendom season 2. Please let me know your rankings. I am so intrigued to hear your thoughts. But before I wrap up the video, round 3 is happening. If you didn't watch season 1, just to let you know, the next episodes are kind of filler. I don't even think we get a performance in the next episode. What they did in season 1 was the main dancers go off together and they're going to do a bunch of solos and a joint performance. And then the main vocals go off together. They group up and they'll do performances together. It looks like they're doing it a bit different this year where you can send multiple vocals. So we'll see how that goes. It is like my favorite part of Queendom season 1 because it's a lot of just seeing the girls from different groups mingle with each other. You get maybe some wholesome moments. It's just a very ooh, kind of episode. And I think the energy and just connection of all the groups this season is just so enjoyable. It's better, I think, than last season. So I'm actually excited to just kind of see what's going to happen in these filler episodes. And even the performances are kind of filler. They're not the memorable ones necessarily of the show, and they count the least in the overall scoring of the show. It's not very exciting, but I'm just excited to see the content. I just want to say this actually overall, my just general thoughts of the show so far. Although I've been kind of harsh on the performances, I do really love the show. And a lot of that is because of the girls. I think they're just so good. Personality-wise, I love pretty much everyone, even groups I'm not as familiar with. And something I never thought I'd say, props to the editing team at Mnet. I know they've had some questionable editing choices and storylines, but some of the editing just makes the show so funny. And it's just so enjoyable. And I think just kind of the collaboration of the girls being funny and Mnet showing how funny these girls are and adding to kind of the awkwardness and funniness of it all is making the show very fun to watch. So if you're only watching the performances, I think you're actually watching the show wrong. You should watch the actual episodes because they're very entertaining. And with that, I have nothing else to say. So please comment your thoughts. I'm gonna go. Have a nice time of day wherever you are. Mwah. Bye.